Now, to talk further on the NUM's wage expectations, I'm joined in studio by Makwe Masilela. He's an analyst at BP Bernstein. Good evening, Makwe.
Evening.
Makwe, the NUM is asking for surface workers' wages to rise to 7,000 Rand and underground workers to 8,000 Rand. Surely that sounds quite reasonable given the cost of living.
By all means it is, and given that we have seen the likes of Eskom asking for almost 16% increase, yes, it is reasonable.
Now, we saw the markets react to news of the fact that the NUM is seeking up to 60% increases. The gold sector, it dropped by up to 5%. Why is the market reacting like this, given the fact that it's just a position? It's not like it's a done deal.
Yeah, but we must bear in mind that this whole thing of the wages, I mean, it just exacerbated the situation. We have seen gold itself, I think so far this year, it fell by almost 20%, and mainly at the back of, we think that the US Federal Reserve will start unwinding their purchases of bonds, what we call quantitative easing. So we've seen gold going down. But sure, the fact that we might get such increases, definitely they're not going to get 50%, but we all know that wages, I mean, makes the highest expense when it comes to any company, so followed by electricity. Yes, chances are they might get anything around 10 or 12, but that will increase the mining costs. Hence, we've seen the miners suffering.
Now, I mean, we've discussed the fact that obviously the fundamentals of the gold sector are not that great. So presumably the sell-off of gold stocks today was just merely things getting worse, because basically fundamentally the gold sector is not doing so well. So basically this is just like a small issue, no?
Not really. I mean, as we're talking now, I mean, our gold mines, I mean, they're the most deepest. And as a result, it costs a mining company anything, you know, when you take all costs included, including the capital expenditure, anything between 1,001 to 1,004. You know, and now with the current gold price at 1,350, definitely those companies are not making money. Yes, it might be difficult, if not impossible, to meet those demands, but surely something needs to be done. But I think we have to bear in mind that mainly, you know, when it comes to wages, I mean, our employees are not getting anything compared to the senior executives. So they're only using this time of the year to try to close that gap, which doesn't make sense, sure, but they have to get something given the cost of living.
Now, if the gold price continues to plummet and costs of production continue to go up, do you foresee some sort of consolidation in the gold and coal sectors and possibly some job losses?
By all means, that will happen. And chances are, we know they're not going to get 50%, that's a given, you know, but chances they'll get maybe a double digit, around 10 or 11. But we have to bear in mind that these guys, at the end of the day, they have to find a way to close the wage gap. This might not be the environment, given that there's no demand for the commodity, and given that the economic slowdown around the world, it still has a very long way to get out of the woods. But when things start picking up, surely the guys have to sit around, and they must stop seeing each other as us and them. They have to start seeing each other as the gold sector or the coal sector.
Do you think that things will get easier? If you touched on it, you touched on executive pay. If executives become a bit more reasonable about how much they take home relative to the worker on the ground?
They have to. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, whether you're an investor or a shareholder in a mining company or an individual, you're just like that employee, you've got needs. So you have to find a way to close that gap. And it's well and good for them to use the current argument that, you know what, we're not doing well, but now one will have to ask, when you were doing well, what did you do?
Okay, thanks very much, Makwe, for your insights. That was
Pleasure.
Makwe Masilela. He's from BP Bernstein.